Yeah, look at that.
That's leaking right out of the fucking front cover.
It's quality, man. They still produce quality.
Yep.
Clearly. All right, so today we are going to review the 2022 Mustang Ecoboost. Interesting car. I've had it for a little bit now. I'd say in the last few days I put 12 to 1300 miles on it. So let's start with the interior. Right away, it one-ups any Mopar product that I've seen, including the nicer Challengers and Chargers, like the Hemis, the Hellcats, all of them. I mean, they just haven't changed the interiors on that. So Ford is going to win that, at least in my book. All the inlays at night, including the cup holder, the door handles, they all light up. The rocker lights up. Everything is all nice and fancy. Decent leather, feels pretty nice. The steering wheel's nice. This one is the convertible, obviously. So
it's a comfy car.
Yeah, it's really not too bad. I just did, in the last week, 4 days, I just did, what, 1,200 miles on it. I'm just gonna get straight into driving it because it's a shitty day and I gotta get this thing back to the rental agency. That's what it sounds like on the outside. Sounds like just a generic, yeah, 4-cylinder turbo. We're gonna get into the driving of it now, and
whoa. These brakes
Dylan's
are so
still having a hard time with the brakes. Yeah, it takes a minute, dude. They're really touchy, the brakes on this car. When you go through the different drive modes, so you go ahead and click mode. You have normal, you have Sport Plus, which I don't recommend using specifically on the automatic manual, because literally all it does is rev hangs the shit out of the car to the point where it feels like you're braking it. Track mode is my favorite mode. It automatically does 3 fun things. It disables traction control, it tightens the steering into sport mode, and it pumps up the volume on your V8 speaker system you have on this car, which we'll get into that in a little while. Drag and then snow wet, it just kind of bogs it down, makes it less throttly so you don't spin out. So starting off driving it, right away you could hear the stark difference of the outside exhaust note versus inside.
Yeah, but I really think that's motor noise. I really think that's intake.
Yeah, but it sounds like a V8 though. You know what I mean? That sounds like a V8.
Yeah, but
it's like animated noise.
Yeah, now you're right.
Yeah, it's a feature that is called, and see, like what I mean, it just rev.
I thought in track mode it didn't do that.
It still does it, but not as aggressive. It's really strange. I mean, right off the bat, I'll start with my impressions, because like I said, I drove the car for 2 different 600-mile road trips within the last 4 days. So it's very fun. I love the car, to be honest. I like that it's decent on fuel. I like that it has some nice power to it for a 4-cylinder turbo. It handles nicely. It's comfortable. The sound system is pretty nice. The Apple CarPlay and all that's really nice. I think it's an awesome car, honestly.
Yeah, Ford's never cheaped out with their interiors and their amenities, like the systems, and especially in a Mustang, even if it's a base model. At least nowadays, we're not talking about the older Mustangs, but
yeah, compared to its competition.
Yeah, and I don't have much experience with this newest model, but I've worked at Ford before, so I've driven plenty of the old, last model Ecoboosts. Yeah, it's a fun car. I'm surprised it doesn't get better fuel mileage, though. Nick said, what did you get when you were trying to get better fuel mileage?
My first 300-mile trip, when I was trying to get good mileage, I ended up getting 29. That's the best I could get it, with me still doing some slightly spirited driving. On the way back, I was really doing some wild stuff along the Jersey Turnpike, and I got it down to 25, just under 25. So it's not the best on fuel, to be honest. badass for a 4-cylinder turbo, but it's also, you know, a pretty heavy 4-cylinder turbo car.
Yeah, you know, it is.
Yeah, it's fun. You heard about what we like on it. What I dislike, and it's really, to be honest, it's like the only 2 dislikes I have for this car. The first one is that up high-end torque range. It really doesn't have too much. When you're above 70 or at 60, I'd say, and you go to floor it, it quickly reminds you that it's only a 4-cylinder, you know? But besides that, the only other thing is the active, I believe it's called active noise control system, or whatever Ford is calling it. At first, I was really confused when I got in this car because I hear turbo noises, I see 30 miles per gallon average on the dash, so I say, oh, well, it's obviously an EcoBoost, but why does this car sound like a V8 on the inside when I'm flooring it? And it's because it's a new system that Ford has put in this car that basically makes fake engine sounds. And it's a huge turnoff for almost any real car person.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's safe to say that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
So
my GLI, the 14, had a sound, what do they call it? A sound actor?
It's like an enhancer of some kind. Yeah.
All that did was amplify the noise from the engine bay into the cab.
Right. This is creating.
Yeah, this is creating a noise.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing Dylan's having a hard time with, is the brakes.
Brakes are super sensitive.
Yeah, it took me like a good full day to get used to that, dude.
Super sensitive.
Yeah.
So I don't like that there's no paddle shifters or no Triptronic. I don't understand why they couldn't have that in this car.
That I agree with totally.
The base model Acura with the 4-cylinder non-turbo, like what my aunt had at one point, that had paddle shifters.
The ILX, or
yeah, that was really fun to drive too.
Most cars have them now, and it's kind of crazy because I looked up this specific model, and it's 40 grand. The convertible automatic EcoBoost, options with all the nice blue paint and everything. It's $40,000 car. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's quite a bit of money. So
I think it should have had paddles.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it would have made it a lot more fun. I just, to be honest, don't recommend this car at all in the automatic version that we're driving right now. You have to have this car standard, not just because it's a more fun, spirited driving experience, but I don't like this transmission at all.
No.
I mean, when I was...
And the sport modes, like you said, with the rev hanging.
It's not healthy.
No, not at all.
It's definitely not healthy. When I'm sitting in traffic after driving it for 2 hours on this road trip, it's bucking because it's overheating. You know, I mean, the car has 15,000 miles on it. That shouldn't be happening. No, not at all. You know, my Accord from 2009 doesn't do that. And I haven't ever changed the tranny fluid. It's just, yeah, I don't recommend this car in the automatic for sure. And you've driven these cars a lot more than me. Like, what do you think about it compared to the others, the GTs? And
I mean, listen, it's hard for me to tell somebody to buy this, and I don't know. For me, it's like, if you're gonna get a Mustang, get a Mustang, get a V8.
Yeah.
You know, I guess if you're, it's hard to say though. I don't know.
Trust me, I get it.
The 4-cylinder, listen, it can be fun, especially like Nick said. If you got it in manual, it's definitely going to be a fun car to drive. You know, if you're looking for a convertible, sporty little something, 5-6 speed to bang around with, and you're not trying to spend crazy money on a, you know, anything else. I mean, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you mean, and, you know, I'm not going to compare it to the V6 Challenger that I just did a review on, which I'm going to drop soon. I was afraid to drop that video because of how much I hated the V6 Challenger. So, like, it definitely wins me over that car by far. I truly hated that car. I couldn't find one thing about it that I enjoyed. This car, I really like driving. It's really not bad at all.
Drive.
Yeah, it's really not bad at all. But in terms of like a 4-cylinder turbo car, it's pretty damn fun. But when you could buy a GT for not much more money, like I said in the Challenger review, these cars in the V8 option are not that much more money.
Yeah.
When you buy a car, I mean, new, sure, when you're looking at them like slightly pre-owned with 20 to 30,000 miles on them, you're looking at a $4,000 to $5,000 price difference.
Yeah.
Just pull the trigger, you know, and get the better car at that.
And not only that, to me, it's just like there's a lot of other 4-cylinder turbo options out there.
Right.
Volkswagen.
Yeah. Subaru.
Audi, Subaru.
Yeah.
Although I never tell somebody to get a Subaru.
Yeah. I get it. But going like into the drive mode portion, that's what really I enjoyed a lot about this car. The availability, like with track mode, to instantly tighten the steering and instantly turn off traction at the flick of a button. That's cool.
Yeah.
Some of the other drive modes just didn't make much sense to me, like Sport Plus, specifically in this automatic, options one. I don't really get the purpose of it at all. It's a pretty solid car. I mean, I would recommend it to somebody. We always like to do a recommendation. I would recommend it, but not brand new. Like specifically this spec one, like almost 40 grand for this. It doesn't seem right to me at all. Pre-owned, why not? It's a fun little car. He's in drag mode. It chirped.
Wow. Okay.
It shortens the gears. That's what it does. I see.
Dude, that thing friggin' chirped second.
So that's pretty cool. We found out what drag mode did when we brake stand launched it properly. It pretty much shortens the gears up, and he actually chirped second.
Chirping second in an auto.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna keep it short. Pretty simple review.
Yeah, I wish it was nicer. Drop the top.
Yeah. I mean, we enjoy it. It's a cool car. It definitely has our seal of approval. It surprised the shit out of us launching in drag mode.
Yeah, that definitely surprised me.
It's a fun car, just not close to 40 grand brand new. Nice car, but pre-owned, why not? Solid pickup. All right, guys, thanks. Have a good one.
Peace.